On this Inauguration Day 2021, I have the opportunity to speak with a historian and a park ranger. No, don't change the channel. It's actually quite interesting because we're here at the LBJ Ranch in Stonewall, Texas. The 36th president of the United States was a Texan who lived here, but he was also a believer of bringing people together. And in these times, it's good to remember.
Dubbed the Texas White House by the media, Lyndon Baines Johnson and his family called this ranch home. Purchased from his aunt in 1951, young LBJ always knew it as the big house by the river.
There's stories where he said, oh, my uncle and I would ride the ranch and we would sleep out underneath the stars on using their saddles as pillows. Somebody who really passionate about Texas history and is from Texas is your storyteller.
And that's why we came here, to hear the stories about a president who's accomplished so much, and yet still, 50 years later, has the escalation of the Vietnam War, civil unrest, and a controversial time in American history clouding his legacy.
Medicare, Head Start, civil rights, voting rights. Why is he almost like a forgotten president? Is it because of Vietnam?
You know, there are those things. Vietnam definitely was a huge part of his presidency. But as we get a little further removed, it starts to be easier to see everything that happened during that presidency.
To be fair, a lot of those things happened because
he had the majority in the Congress. So they passed legislation like you wouldn't believe.
The more my guide spoke, the more and more I started to get an understanding of who LBJ was.
So he publishes a book the year he's running against Goldwater.
Yep, called My Hope for America. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
He wasn't playing.
He was not playing.
What was truly important to him?
He wanted to be able to not give people a hand out, but a hand up.
How his goal of uniting the country helped unite representatives from both sides of the aisle.
Look, regardless of how you feel, we've got to come together. This is the future. And I feel like he would say that today.
And even hear a side of the angry old Texan that you'd never believe.
They had the Head Start across the river in Stonewall. And he would take the kids over there jelly beans. And the kids just knew him as Mr. Jellybean. You know, this guy, this great older guy.
Wait a second. 4-year-olds were calling LBJ Mr. Jellybean.
Mr. Jellybean.
They gave this ranch its moniker for a reason.
He spent over a quarter of his presidency here.
But as beautiful and peaceful as it is, it's just a ranch. A ranch where I learned LBJ was more than just a president.
You know, I can sum it up really in one quote from President Johnson. He would say, "Come, let us reason together."
That's good.